Hi and welcome back to my channel. And I think I just hit the mic while I was saying that. I wanted to say thank you to Skyee Dream in Colors for tagging me in this Would You Rather edition. I'm creating a shadow. I would like to thank Skyee for tagging me on this Would You Rather, and I guess we'll call it the coloring edition because all the questions are related to coloring. And as I am an adult colorist, I thought that these questions were perfect, and I will let you know this tag was created by Kirsty Coloring Channel. I don't have the full name of her channel in front of me. I don't know Kirsty, but I will tag her in the description box below. I will also tag Skyee Dream in Colors in the description box below so that you can look at their channels and see their marvelous answers. Now, I decided to combine this video with something that Jess, Color Me a Pink Monkey, has set out about maybe 3 weeks ago, and that is a hashtag Say Hello to Fall 2020 Color Along. And she chose 10 colors, which includes white, but I only chose 9 colors because I decided to do a third thing, and that is to use a new product that I have, something that I haven't used for maybe 6 or 7 years, and that is the Bic Intensity Ultra Fine Permanent Markers. Now, when I first started coloring, I used to color from Kendall Bones books, and I'll show you a couple so that you have an idea of what I'm speaking about. Kendall Bone did a lot of abstract coloring books. Of course, I would pick out Lizzie Blue's and Lonnie Gansman's, but Kendall Bones had Abstract Adventure, Mandela Adventure, he had Paisley Adventure, he had mashups. Well, when I used to do the Kaleidoscopia coloring book images, which was among the first type of images that I used to color, I used Bic and Sharpie permanent markers. And again, we're going back 6 to 7 years ago. So since I haven't used permanent markers for quite some time, I actually gave away most of my Bic and Sharpies years ago. So I recently bought these. So I thought that I would use these markers, do Color Me a Pink Monkey's hashtag and Skyee's tag for the Would You Rather questions. So I'm putting all of them together and I'm going to dive in. I will include a screenshot of the colors that Jess set out, and I don't know if I can't give you a screenshot in this current video, but I will add a screenshot before I upload the video. So these are the colors that come as close to the ones that she recommended for her hashtag. They're not perfect, but they're close enough. And again, they're from the Bic Intensity pack, and they're ultra fine pens, markers. Now I do have CaliArts Lemouche, Sioux Color, and I think I also may have some Ohuhu and Touch New permanent markers. So I know that I could use a bigger marker on some of the bigger areas, but I thought I'd go a little bit further into this by using Neocolor 2s on some of the bigger areas, because I'm also learning how to use Neocolors. And this will be very interesting because I chose Jade Summer Intricate Pattern Coloring Book, and I don't know how this paper is going to hold up to water, but we're just going to have to see. So I've got my my water brush pens to my right, I've got the Neocolors to my left, and I've got these Bic Intensity here, but I will pull them out of screenshots. So This is the scheme that I'll be working with, and this is the design that I chose, and I'm just going to dive right in. And so again, it's the Would You Rather coloring edition, and every question is prefaced with the phrase Would you rather, and hopefully I'll be able to read my handwriting because I wrote the questions down as I watched the video. So I will get started, and I guess I will start with the yellow. I don't have a pattern in mind for the colors. I think I'm going to move this to my left, and I want to make sure I stay in frame. I will tell you that it's very early in the morning. It's 6:38 a.m. currently, and it is still dark outside, so I have to use light, and that light is creating a shadow. If I waited until daylight, I would have a better chance of not having as much of a shadow. So I just wanted to say that. So I will just start with this portion right here, and let me tell you the color that this is. Moonstone yellow. I haven't colored with permanent markers all that much. Yes, I have a blotter page in because even though this is a two-sided image, it's obviously this marker would bleed through to the other side. So I thought I would go ahead and do this as I mentioned. So the very first question is, would you rather color from the same coloring book or the same medium for the rest of your life? That is so hard to answer. And the reason why is because anybody that's that does adult coloring, no doubt starts to collect. So you start off with something that appeals to you. Then you progress to collecting from the same artist, and then you most likely do a lot of collecting that's based on recommendations from other people, which is basically called enabling. So most of us have a sizable collection of coloring books. With that in mind, trying to say that I'm going to look at and I counted recently, and I have 235 coloring books. Am I going to color in one of those 235 books for the rest of my life? I'd have to say no. I'd have to say that I would rather color with the same medium for the rest of my life. Fortunately, at this point in the game, it doesn't ask which medium that is, but that's my answer. Now, the next question is, would you rather color a full page of leaves or a wallpaper style page? Since I live in the East Coast in New England, and we get to see the beautiful fall colors, I will say that I'd rather color a page full of leaves versus a wallpaper style page. And I will go with the leaves as my answer because with the leaves you can use any variety of colors. Our creator gave us a beautiful, beautiful array of changeable colors every season. And so I will go with the leaves, and I would really, really dig into the beautiful fall colors if I did a page full of leaves. I will let you know that we have a newborn in the house, and she's awake, so you will hear her crying. And there's nothing I can do about that but be gleeful that she's healthy and has a healthy set of lungs. My next question is, would you rather color fur or would you rather color skin? I would rather color fur. I am not great with fur, but I'm far better with fur than I am with skin. So my answer is very, very easy and very, very quick, that I would much rather color with fur. And my reason for that is because when I began coloring, and I'm looking at my colors to see where I want to put yellow next. So I think I will come outside of this circle and use some yellow up here. And I can tell you right now that I do wish I chose permanent markers with a broader tip, but I'm not going to stop the video. I started off with Pam Smart's Color Me Your Way books, and she did a lot of animals, and I did pretty much straight coloring with those animals, but I moved on to Jane Madei's Adorable Animals, and I learned to do some fur in that book, and then I also did some fur in some of the Tim Jeffs books. Not a lot of his. I did more reptiles than I did anything else, but I think that I have the ability to do that flicking that's necessary to give a little bit of realism to fur. So my answer is I would much rather color fur. Now, question number 4. Would I rather do a double page spread in Kirby Rosanes's book or a Clara Markova book? Since I don't have any Clara Markova books, and since I think I've done a total of 3 pages in Kirby Rosanes's books, then that's going to be a clear answer for me. My most recent was the ants carrying houses on their backs, and I think I did that maybe a week ago. So my answer is I would much rather color a 2-page spread in the Kirby Rosanes's books. There's nothing wrong with the Clara Markova books other than I don't really like fairies all that much. Don't judge me. So I don't have any Clara Markova books. Okay, next question is kind of making me put my thinking cap on. The next question is, would you rather color grayscale or line art? Like I said, I have to put my thinking cap on for this one because I probably have colored 98% of my coloring is line art. So that's pretty much the answer because I have more experience. However, I am desperately trying to learn to manage grayscale, and my biggest introduction into grayscale is with the Tim Jeffs coloring books. And when you color grayscale, a lot of the work is done for you. So it's kind of a little bit easier when you think about it. I went over the line a little bit. So I guess, I'm covering over what I'm doing. Let's see if I can hold my marker back a little bit. I so apologize. I'm going to try. I know I can hold my pencil back, and I guess I can hold my marker back. I guess I would have to say I'd rather color line art because I have more experience with it. But if I can give a however or a but in here, I would like to become quite skilled at coloring grayscale. Now we move on to question number 6, and this is one that I have to kind of not be able to answer. The question for number 6 is, would you rather color Mystic Art Mirrors or a Kristen Karen book? Well, I haven't been doing coloring for close to 2 years other than the odd image here or there until very recently, and now I've colored maybe 6 images. So I'm just getting back into adult coloring. During my hiatus from coloring, these books have started to gain popularity. And now that I'm into coloring, I'm sure I will check out these books to see if their art really appeals to me. Of course, I've seen their images in some of the YouTube live streams that I've watched, but I haven't paid as close enough attention to their work to see whether or not I'd like to purchase either of their books. So this question doesn't not really get an answer because I don't have either, nor do I have any of their images in mind to know which appeals to me more. So there's my non-answer to question number 6. Now, I love this question because this question affects me in a lot of ways. This question, number 7, is would you rather color in complete silence or with background noise? I would rather color with background noise, and I'll tell you why. It's because my name is, or my channel name is, and my entire social media name pretty much is Robin Loves Reading. Because I love reading, when I am coloring, I am always playing one of two things. That is an audiobook or a Kindle book with text to speech. I need that background noise. And to tell you how much I need background noise, if I am reading, just say like on my Kindle Paperwhite in my recliner, I am 100% of the time playing music because I need some kind of background noise. If I am watching a YouTube live stream, I am also reading. I need to multitask. So complete silence would not work for me. I get into my head too much. And when you get into your head too much, some of the thoughts don't germinate well. So I need that background noise. And that background noise is mostly books. Now, I do watch a lot of coloring videos or coloring live streams, so that kind of would be considered background noise when you think about it. And I will be coloring along with them or working on a jigsaw puzzle. By the way, I did start a new puzzle, so I was kind of even thinking of doing my puzzle while I answered these questions. But it's not a Would You Rather puzzle edition, it's Would You Rather color edition, so that's what you see as me coloring. I'm rather liking this yellow. I want to pull up Jess's image again really quick, so I think I chose pretty good. By the way, I'm not quite sure where she got her colors from, but it was vibrant yellow, and it says Pantone Vibrant Yellow. So I think I think it's Moonstone Yellow, did pretty good. So I'm kind of liking that I'm using this color here. The next question, which is number 8, is, would you rather color with a mix of medium and brands or stick with one medium and brand? I totally went out of the line. Thank goodness it's yellow because I should be able to go over that. I would much rather color with let's see, I'm losing this. Okay. I would much rather, okay, I didn't go out of the line. This right here is confusing me. Okay, I did. This part should not have been yellow, so I will just have to see how that one goes. Okay. I would much rather color with a mix of mediums and brands. I don't know if this is for the rest of your life question right here, or if this is for a single image or a group of images. And so with regard to the rest of my life or a single image or series of images, I would definitely have to choose a mix of mediums and brands, because all of us, at least I have, permanent markers, colored pencils, gel pens. I have other mediums like Posca paint pens, Arteza acrylic ink pens. I have Wink Stella. We all have so many mediums, and I'd like to be able to choose from any and all of those mediums. So the next question is, which we are moving on to question number 9, is, would you rather color with a white gel pen or a white Posca pen? I have to say a white Posca pen, because over the years, especially when I was doing color alongs with Julie's passion for coloring, in a lot of her background images where she uses, say, like a black Posca paint pen, she would make stars, and using those stars, she would use a Posca paint pen. So when I started doing my own background images and wanting to make stars or do something with white, none of my other white gel pens would hold any consistency. I'll use the word consistency. Either they would become clogged or they would never start in the first place, or they would just not perform. So I would always buy you probably heard somebody coming in and out of my office, but I live with my family, so that's going to happen. I would, when I buy Posca paint pens, I usually buy, say, in a pack of 3, and they always perform 100% of the time. So that's would I rather choose a white gel pen or a Posca paint pen, and we're going to have to go with Posca. And let's see, I'm trying to think of the whites I have. I know that I have, let's see, I have, for white gel pens, I have this Uniball Signals, I have the Jelly Rolls, and there's a third brand that I can't think of that I have, and they just don't perform. Okay, moving on. Now, it looks like at the speed that I'm going through these questions that I'm not going to finish this image while I answer these questions, so I just wanted to tell you that. Okay, the next question, which I think we are moving on to question number 10, is would I rather color at morning or at night? Now, I am an early riser, so this would definitely have to be a morning answer. I would much rather color in the morning, just like I would much rather read my first book of the day first thing in the morning. I like to get up between 4 and 6 a.m. because I generally fall asleep. On the nights that I have insomnia a lot, but on the nights that I do sleep, I fall asleep between 9 and 10 p.m. and therefore by 4 o'clock I've had enough sleep. Now today, for example, I got up at 6 a.m. and not just because I wanted to answer these questions. The first thing I wanted to do was color. Well, I did read. I will admit to that. I did read first. And so I would much rather color in the morning. I'm still thinking about what color I can go over with this, and it looks like I'm going to be using, I don't know, maybe the Midnight Navy will go over that yellow. Okay, so we're going to use Midnight Navy there. Anyway, just a little distracted by that mistake. Can I just quote Bob Ross? There are no mistakes, there's only happy accidents. So hopefully something happy will happen out of result for that. Now, let's go on to question number 11. Would you rather color a page from a YouTube tutorial or a tutorial book, for example, Helen Aniston? I would much rather color from a YouTube tutorial. I cut my teeth with 3 YouTube artists or colorists, and that would be Julie's Passion for Coloring, Devlina Art, and Chris Cheng, although Chris Cheng rather intimidates me. I've even colored with, done some images with coloring with Alina, but maybe only 1 or 2. And I am a visual person as well as an auditory person, and I do well with watching videos, especially because you can slow the videos down. And if they're not doing an audio instruction and they're just using, like, say, background music, you can turn the music down and put something on of your own liking and sit there and imitate them to the point of learning how to complete, whether it's shading, whether it's blending, whether it's choosing colors. And for example, when I first started coloring, I think one of the first types of books I got, I think I'm going to do just these 4 pieces here with yellow, and then, no, I know what I'll do. You'll see what I'm going to do. Did you just hear my hubby sneeze? He's got one of the world's largest sneezes. I didn't feel like, oh yes, I was answering my question about why I like tutorials. When I first started coloring, I started getting the Johanna Basford books. I got 3 artist books when I first started coloring, as well as a company. I'll start with the company first, and then I'll move on to fully answer this question. The first books I got were the Pam Smart Color Me Your Way books, which I think there's 6 now with other images. I also got the Kendall Bonner books that I showed you, and then I started buying the Johanna Basford books, Secret Garden, Enchanted Forest. Is it Enchanted Forest? But I started getting the Johanna Basford books, and I got Into Leaves. And of course, you know, with Johanna Basford, you are going to do a lot of leaves. And even some of the Pam Smart images had a lot of leaves. And so I learned to Google or to YouTube search how to color leaves. And Davlina Art has a couple of pages that really stick in my memory. And it was how to color glassy fish and how to color leaves. And I practiced. I used my printer and printed some pages, and I practiced those leaves and those glossy fish or glassy fish numerous times, and that's how I started learning about finding colors for like fall leaves, or making a leaf with, say, coloring the veins a certain color, you know, just really getting my feet wet. And then I moved on, like I said, to Julie's passion for colorists. I even colored along with Erin, Simple Art for Adults, and I know she doesn't make videos anymore. I colored along with her. I didn't really color along with Dee Dee much because she's too fast and too color intelligent for me. I just adore Dee Dee. Dee Dee Willingham, speaking of. Sammy, I watch her to great length, but I've never actually tried to emulate her because I think I would fall far too short. But definitely YouTube videos. Now, I do have one of Helen Elliston's books, and I think there's maybe 3 different artists who have books on Amazon. There might be 4. And they're like, you have colorist special effects. I can't think of the names of the books. There is an artist that I saw, I think she was in one of the live streams very recently, and I decided to buy both of her books, which there might even be 3, and it's going to cost me upwards of $60, but that's something that I am going to buy either this month, October, or next month. Even though I don't work well with flat images for learning, there are things like gems, hair, skin. Like I bought the Momo Girl tutorial book on skin. I haven't done. I did buy, now see, I'm veering off into color tutorial by images because now I'm thinking of other ones. I did buy all of the Tim Jeffs tutorial images. I will not get that book out because it's a 4-inch binder. I should put it on my scale. I would guess that book weighs about 8 or 9 pounds. I am going to weigh it. I'm now curious. Joe Warner does the tutorials in that book, and I have done a couple of those tutorials. So, okay, long answer to a short question is, guess what the answer is going to be now? The answer is going to have to be both. I can't do a would you rather anymore because I'm thinking of all of these other artists that have done or provided really good images that we can learn from. So I guess I'm going to have to say both because I've got the other artist, which I can't think of her name, but I've got her volumes 1 and 2 and possibly 3 in my wish lists, or at least my Amazon shopping cart, because I definitely want them. Okay, so long answer to a short question, which means now I need to get some ice water. Excuse me for one moment. I drink at least two 32 ounces, so I guess about 64 ounces of water every single day. I have excessive thirst. It's probably maybe my thyroid issue or my thyroid. I have low thyroid, so I'm on thyroid meds. I don't know if it's the low thyroid or the thyroid medication, but I have excessive thirst. So I'm always drinking water. Water is my favorite beverage. I will drink iced tea, and I will drink soda, and I will drink OJ, but by all means I'm drinking water 99 times out of 100. So we are moving on to question number 12. Would you rather color food or glass? This is my alarm. It must be 7 a.m. So let me shut this alarm off. Okay, there we go. Would you rather color food or glass? I guess I would rather color glass because I learned a little bit about coloring glass in a couple of the Johanna Basford images, and I feel pretty good about them. Food is hard because I like my work to look realistic, and it's hard for me to make realistic food. Color, not make. It's hard for me to color realistic food, so that's going to be a quick answer. I would much rather color glass. There's a technique to it that I think I've gotten under my belt, and I feel comfortable with coloring glass. We're moving on to question number 13, and this question is a bit unfair to one of the artists. The question is, would you rather color Jasmine Beckett Griffith books or would you rather color Jade Summer books? I have exactly 0 Jasmine Beckett Griffith books. Again, I was away from coloring for close to 2 years, so I didn't buy a lot of the popular books that you see colored on YouTube. However, that means I didn't have any Jade Summer books until very recently. I would say my Jade Summer collection, which is very modest to the tune of maybe 6 books, only started a few weeks ago. That's it. I have maybe 6 Jade Summer books, only bought in the last few weeks. So this question is a hard question because I really didn't have anything by either artist. Granted, I'm doing an intricate images book by Jade Summer, image by Jade Summer right now, but that's only because I needed something to keep me busy while I answer these questions. And also because I do like I showed you at the beginning of the video, I like patterns. So I guess this answer would have to be Jade Summer, I guess, at this point. It's the only fair answer to give. Okay, our next question is, would you rather color a color by number or a mandala, or we'll say mandala for those who say it, but one of either way? I would have to say a color by number, because a color by number has a palette that you don't have to think about. You just grab that 6 or 8 colors for that image and you go to town. Granted, I only had 2 color by number books, one of which I gave away and one of which I haven't even colored in yet. But if I had to choose between the 2, I would have to say a color by number because the colors are all picked out for you. Okay, question number 15. Would you rather color with watercolors forever or alcohol markers forever? I would have to say alcohol markers forever. The only watercolors I have are in 3 categories. I have the Neocolor 2s, which I just recently got in the last 2 months and have only used like 1 time. I have the Ohuhu watercolor markers, pencils, which I have used 0 times, and although I've had them for 5 years. I have the Inktense, which I've used several times, and I actually love the Inktense and feel quite comfortable with those, but I would have to say permanent markers because You can use images like this. I've seen people do fabulous jobs with skin. So permanent markers, for if we had to choose for the rest of my life, I would have to say, with my experience, limited as it is, would have to be permanent markers, as I'm coming with a permanent marker right now. Okay, question number 16. Would you rather color a Christmas page in June or an Easter page in December? Well, since I don't celebrate holidays, I don't color many, if any, of either image. But to answer the question fairly, let's say an Easter image in December, because you can color spring-like colors and call it whatever you will. So that's as close to an answer I can give you there. Okay, going to move on to question number 17. Would you rather color on CreateSpace paper or toned tanned paper? I would have to say that I would rather color on CreateSpace paper, only because it's what I have available to me, albeit quite limited, because I only have the Jade Summer books that I mentioned and a couple of the Demeter Victoria books, and other than that I didn't have any, and all of those are new. And before getting those, we're talking maybe 10 books. That's the only amount of CreateSpace paper I have, is 10 books in my entire collection. Now, Sammy, I believe it's Sammy and maybe Belinda, but definitely Sammy has colored on the tan tone paper, or the toned tan paper. I said that backwards. And that's very appealing. I just don't have any, and I'm not really good with skin, and I'm definitely not good with hair. That brings us to question number 18. Would you rather color with Prismacolor Premier pencils or Arteza? Now, I cut my teeth with Prismacolor Premier pencils and with Derwent Color Soft pencils. So for longevity's sake, I will definitely say Prismacolor Premiers. I have 2 full sets in at least 2/3 of a third and fourth set, making that my most owned pencil set. So it would kind of have to be Prismacolor Premiers, but I have colored with Artezas in the last 2 weeks and love the way they perform. But if it were for the rest of my life, it would have to be the Prismacolor Premiers. Wax bloom notwithstanding, they would pretty much win hands down. And I'm going to color this little part here because I have to flip my paper over to get to question number 19. But I don't want to lift my marker just yet. And let's see what question number 19 is. Okay, we're going to choose a different color. Nope, I see one more spot right here. Number 19, and we're closing in, so this image won't be done. And since I won't be able to finish this image in this answering this question phase, I think what I will do is I'm going to do 2 things. One is I'm going to complete these answers, and then I'm going to complete the image. And if I can speed color the answers to the tune of and make this into a voiceover, I will. So we're just going to have to see how that goes. Okie dokie. To answer question number 19, I guess I should ask question number 19 so that I can answer it. Question number 19 is, would you rather color a background image first or the main image first? Because I am a Julie Passion for Coloring fan, I would have to say, I see another area that I missed. I would have to say that I would definitely like to color the background first. And I mean last. The main image, no, Okay, let me tell you why I stopped myself. If I'm using Posca paint pens for a black background, which after watching Julie I have done numerous times, I would definitely have to say the background image first so I get the black out of the way. However, boy, I keep finding areas that I missed. However, when I know I am going to use Pebbles chalk or soft pastels, I color the image first and then the background last. Because what I do is I always use two types of fixative when I use Pebbles chalk or soft pastels, and now I do have the Jane Davenport palettes, is I use workable fixative and then I save the image with final fixative. And so since I'm going to be sealing my images, I would much rather color my image first, seal it with workable fixative, and then do the other part of the image with chalks, and then seal it with final fixative. So this makes this question really, really, really difficult to answer. Now, I am thinking of what I want to do next because I'm running out of time, and like I said, this might end up being a voiceover video so that I can complete the image. It might not. I'm thinking about that. So, background or main image, 50-50 on that one. Or would you rather, if this was a rest of your life thing, I would have a hard time with that. Now, this question is also quite challenging and is, oh, I guess I could be coloring while I'm talking to you. We're going to get the blue and try to fix this little area that I messed up. And this blue, by the way, is Midnight Navy. Would you rather color with Neocolor 2s or Derwent Inktense? Now, I cut my teeth with Derwent Inktense and Derwent Color Soft, so I guess I would have to say Derwent Inktense. Although I will be teaching myself how to use Neocolor 2s, it would definitely have to be Derwent Inktense because that is a very easy medium for me to work with. So that's a quick answer to a quick question. That brings us to our next question. Our next question is, would you rather color a hardback or a soft cover book? Well, I guess I would rather color from my hardback color books because I have quite a little collection. I have all of Johanna Basford's, I have all of Maria Trolle and Hannah Carlson's books. And of course, I always buy or pre-order their new works. I have 3 Millie Murata books in hardback. I have the Tim Jeffs books in hardback. So if this were a rest of your life question, I have plenty of hardback books that would keep me busy for a long, long, long time. So that would be, would you rather? I would have to say my hardcover books. Now Millie Murata does softcover books, but 3 of her books are hardbound, and they're massive, by the way, because they're single-sided. And I would say hardbound would, if it were the rest of your life question, definitely hardbound. Okay, that brings us to question number 21. I'm kind of embarrassed to answer this question. Would you rather rip out a page that you ruined, or would you rather persevere and rescue the page? So would I rather rip out a page where something has gone horribly wrong, or would I rather persevere and stick it out? I'm embarrassed to answer this question because I have a perfectionist streak about myself, and I have a hard time believing that mistakes are happy accidents. And also, I'm very hard on myself. So, with those three issues, in my first year or so of coloring, I probably have torn out 4 pages. I know that's not a lot because I've colored over 900 pages, but I embarrassingly admit that I've torn pages out of books. And because I color in mostly hardbound books, I may have taken out 1 page in a hardbound book and maybe a couple of other pages in the Dover books. And so I think that's forgivable because Dover has dozens, probably hundreds of coloring books out there. So I think I can be forgiven for cutting my teeth with the Dover books and not being happy with those single-sided images and getting rid of those. And I'm being completely honest that it's probably been no more than 4 images in all the years that I've been coloring. Now, however, I would much rather persevere and rescue a page because I have all the glitter, like the the Wink of Stella, the different glitter gel pens. I have those paints, which I can't quite get to right now. I always forget which kind of paints I have because there's 2 glossy paint sets, the more expensive and the modest one. Well, actually there's a 3rd one now because Arteza has a glossy paint set, and it's probably even more than that. And so with all of those other mediums, I know that there's a way to correct really bad mistakes. And now with experience under my belt, I would much rather stick it out and take the time to learn a technique to rescue a page. And I have that opportunity because in one of the Tim Jess books, volume 5, I ruined, not quite ruined, but I did a little damage when it came to a lizard, and I am still trying to rescue that small part of the image because the rest of the page is fine. And I will endure through it, and I will fix it so that that page stays in the book. And so that's a hard question because I am very hard on myself, and I want to produce the best and most realistic images I can. And having something like an intricate pattern that I'm coloring right now makes it so that I don't have to think so hard, but I can enjoy what I'm doing. But when I'm trying to shade and blend, I make more mistakes than coloring that little part that's now repaired. Okay, we're getting close to the end here, and that brings us to question number 22. Wait a minute. Okay, I mixed up questions 21 and 22, so I already asked question 22 is would you rather color a hardback book? So if somebody is bouncing off of my video, question 21 is ripping out a page or rescuing a page, and question number 22 is hardback or softcover. And because I am at the last question, I will slow down on coloring and answer that last question. And it's a bonus question. Who is my favorite artist? Now, I've had all night to think about this question, and no, I'm not coloring while I think about it. Actually, I am going to do something. I'm going to put some Neo Color 2 down. We're going to I just want to get some Neo Color 2 down, and I'm going to actually keep coloring this image, and this might end up being a voiceover. I may do a voiceover for and speed this up. I may not, but for right now, I'm just going to mix a couple of colors in here, and I just want to color this little section, and then I'm going to wrap this video up and decide whether or not you guys get a partially colored picture, because I have to be honest with you, I've never done a speed coloring before. I don't know how to time. It took me 49 minutes to answer a question, so I don't know how long it would take me to finish this image, and if it's even possible for me to condense it enough to, I don't know how to do, no, okay, I've thought about it. I've talked myself out of finishing this image for you folks right now. If you'd like, I can finish this image as a color in chat. I'll be glad to do that, but I'm not going to do my first speed coloring as a test. I'd rather do a speed coloring and practice it on my own time, and not by means of this would you rather. So I just wanted to do a little bit of neo color right here. The questions are over, but guess what? You didn't hear the answer to the bonus question because I don't want to answer it. Did you hear the bonus question, or did I overtalk myself so I didn't have to answer it? I'll ask it again. The bonus question is, who is your favorite artist? Can I say something? That's like asking me who my favorite author is. Worse yet, it's like asking me who my favorite child is. I can't. But if I had to, if I just had to, it would be Tim Jeffs. Because he colors, not only does he draw and color and paint animals, but he's doing endangered animals and putting those proceeds to those efforts. So guess who gets this favorite artist award from Robin? It would have to be Tim Jeffs. Now, the most colored artist I have, can I say most colored? If I can say most colored, it would be Hannah Carlson. I think I've done maybe 50 of her images in all the various books I have by her. She's my most colored artist, but she's not my favorite because I'm not fond of her people. I don't do her people well. Okay, so let's get back to the answer, and then I'll tell you what I was going to say. So it would have to be Tim Jeffs because I respect his work and his talent above all. So that was, I guess, a little easier to answer than I thought. Now, I wanted to do a little bit of Neocolor 2 in this image because Neocolor 2 is something that I'm going to spend the rest of October learning how to use, so that as I go into November and I choose to use Neocolor 2s, I will have some experience. And so that's why I wanted to just do that little itty bitty section for the sake of this video, so that I commit myself to using Neocolor 2s on the rest of this. Now I will most likely end this video, update, upload the video and so forth, and then I will no doubt I will probably do a color in chat for the rest of the video, and let me know if that's what you like. I'll hold it off and see if that's what you like. But let's end this video right. We're going to give all credit to Kirsty Coloring for coming up with this tag. We're going to thank Skyee Dream in Colors for tagging me, and thank you, Skyee. Everybody that I name at this point will be linked in the description below. Then we're going to tag, I'm going to tag 4 people. I'm going to tag Shelleen, who is the Coloring Book Nook. Then I will tag Nick and Tina Colors, not sure who's going to answer the question. Then I will tag Anne, A Colorful Life, she's probably already been tagged. And then I will tag Jess, Color Me a Pink Monkey. And I will stop there. I will upload the video and edit in everybody's screen name and channel name. And thank you for your time. Thank you, Skyee, for tagging me. I got all the questions asked and answered. And like I said, I will probably complete the rest of this image in a color in chat video. Thank you very much for your time, and I will hope to see you soon. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to everybody that I link in the description box below, be sure, because they are some great colors out there. And I will be watching all the related videos, and I will be subscribing to all of the channels that are tagged in these videos, because these are great questions and these are fun questions. For now, I want to say thank you and bye-bye.